All right, let's talk about the new private equity playbook. We're going to go way beyond the old school financial engineering to see how the best firms today are creating massive value. It's not about just buying companies anymore, it's about fundamentally building better ones. So let's kick things off with a number that really sets the stage. Just think about this. In the last 15 years, PE assets have exploded by nearly 5 times. That's not a small jump. That's a seismic shift. This isn't some niche corner of finance anymore. It's a huge, mature, and very, very competitive industry. And that, of course, leads to the billion-dollar question for anyone in PE today. In a market that crowded, where do you actually find an edge? I mean, the old tricks, getting cheap debt, clever deal structuring, that's just table stakes now. Everybody can do it. The real answer, the source of real returns, has completely changed. So here's how we're going to break this all down. We'll start with why the old model is basically broken. Then we'll get into the new value creation playbook. We'll look at the 5 key levers firms are pulling, talk about why people are the real secret sauce, and finally, look at what it means to be a skilled industrialist. Okay, first up, beyond financial engineering. You gotta understand, this isn't just a new chapter for the industry. It's a completely new book. And it had to be written because the old one just doesn't work anymore. You know, if you look back, the PE game was all about financial wizardry. The winners were the ones who could get the best access to debt or structure the cleverest deal. But here's the thing, those skills are a commodity now. The real differentiator today, the new focus, is all about operational value creation. It's a total mindset shift from just buying and selling to actually building. Which brings us right to the heart of it, the new value creation playbook. This is really the core of modern PE, this idea of building better businesses from the inside out. Okay, so operational value creation, it sounds a bit like corporate jargon, right? What does it actually mean? Well, let's be precise. It's about getting under the hood of a company and driving real, tangible improvements in how it actually runs day to day. It's making the business smarter, faster, more efficient, a fundamentally better run machine. And this isn't some wishy-washy strategy, it's a military-style operation. The weapon of choice? The 100-day plan. The moment a deal closes, the firm and the management team get together and decide on the absolute top priorities. And the key word there is ruthless prioritization. You can't boil the ocean. You pick 3, maybe 4, things and you just execute. So how do they actually pull this off? Well, that's where we get into the tactical side of things. This is the modern PE toolkit, the 5 primary levers that firms use to drive all that value. So here they are. It's a mix of everything. Growing the top line with sales, tightening up the bottom line with margins and overhead, and even getting super smart with the balance sheet. Think of it as a full-body workout for the business. Let's dig into each one. First up, sales growth. This is kind of the holy grail, right? Because you're not just making the company more profitable, you're making it bigger. This means big strategic moves, pushing into new markets, launching new products, or just making the sales team way more effective. These take time, so you have to start on day one. Next, gross margin improvement. This is all about making more money on every single thing you sell. Can you be smarter about pricing? Can you squeeze inefficiencies out of the supply chain? Or can you get better deals on everything you buy? Even tiny improvements here can have a huge, huge impact on the bottom line. All right, lever 3. This is the one everyone thinks of when they hear private equity, the classic cost cutting. And yeah, it's about being disciplined with expenses. But there's a really common myth about this that we need to bust right now. So, did you know that while PE firms are famous for cutting costs, they often turn around and add significant costs in strategic areas? They'll pour money into new IT systems or bulk up the finance department. And you might ask why? Because when you have a lot of debt, having airtight control and perfect data isn't a nice to have, it's an absolute necessity. Lever 4, capital efficiency. This one is super smart and often gets overlooked. It's basically about finding cash that's just sitting around, trapped in the business, in things like inventory or unpaid customer bills. In a leverage buyout, every single dollar you free up goes straight to paying down debt, which directly builds your equity value. It's brilliant. And last but not least, lever 5, shared services. This is where being part of a big PE portfolio really pays off. It's like a buying club on steroids. The firm can negotiate amazing deals on stuff like insurance or software for all its companies. Plus, they can share top-tier experts in areas like IT or ESG.
giving smaller companies talent they could never afford on their own.
Okay, so we've covered the what, all the tools and tactics. But honestly, the best firms in the world know that's only half the story. The real secret sauce, the thing that makes it all work, is the who, which brings us to the most important part, the people. And don't just take my word for it. Listen to this quote from William Carnog, the guy who runs KKR's legendary operations team. He says, "There is no bigger value creation lever than building a human capital advantage." I mean, that's coming from the absolute top of the industry. It's not about spreadsheets, it's about people. So what does that even mean, a human capital advantage? Well, it boils down to a few key things. First, something called governance arbitrage. This means PE boards aren't playing defense like a lot of public company boards. They're playing pure offense, all focused on winning. Second, you upgrade the talent. Get the absolute best who in every key seat. And third, you align everyone's pay directly with performance. Simple but powerful. And here's the key. The management team isn't just thrown into the deep end and told to sink or swim. The PE firm brings in the cavalry, a whole support system of mentors, operating partners, consultants, you name it. They bring in an army to help the team execute the plan. Okay, let's pull all these threads together. When you combine this relentless focus on operations with this obsession over people and talent, you get a totally new kind of PE professional. The end goal is to become what's known as a skilled industrialist. And a skilled industrialist isn't just a financier. They are a business builder. They understand the nuts and bolts of operations. They get strategy, and they know talent. They're not just flipping companies. They're taking on the deep responsibility of ownership to build businesses that are more competitive, more resilient, and ultimately, way more valuable. So if you're going to walk away with just 3 things from all this, make it these. Number 1, returns today come from growing the actual business, the EBITDA, not from financial tricks. Number 2, the new playbook is a disciplined, repeatable process for making companies better. And number 3, and this is the big one, the most powerful lever of all is human capital, getting the people part right. And I'll leave you with a question to chew on. As you go out and lead businesses, whether it's in PE or not, look at these 5 operational levers we talked about. Which one do you think is just being left on the table by most big public companies today? Which one has the most untapped potential? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.